Hello, everybody. This is episode 3 of Road to Burbank. I'm here with Surreal Gaming. So let's just introduce the players really quick. So first off, we have Crashy. How are
What's
you?
up? I'm doing good.
Uh, Next, we have Maestro. How
How's
are
it
you,
going?
Maestro?
Hey,
Uh, Next, or third, we have Azure Fire.
Hello.
Hello. And finally, we have the sub for Burbank, Pseudo. How are you?
Hello everyone, what's up guys?
All right, so I think where I want to start is how this Surreal lineup got started. So anyone who kind of knows the history of like Surreal, just guide me through it.
Hey, me and Suda were the latest. I think it should probably be Azure or Maestro.
Maestro.
yeah, I'm the oldest member. Okay, let's see. It started with Zeke. He was talking with the denial people, and he kind of had a team.
Right.
It was mostly him and Picasso. And let's see, they never really had a top laner, but we had Dark Stuff and Ambuscade at the time, and they kept rotating through subs until eventually I joined, and we were still denial at the time. And from there, we won a couple things, but there was still like animosity between the team members. And at that point, we got rid of Dark Seth and Ambuscade, and I believe that's where we picked up Azure Fire, because yeah, he didn't have a team, and he's probably like one of the best mid laners at the time. And let's see. From there, we tried out a couple people for jungle. Nothing really worked out until Crashy joined. And with Crashy, we won the Go For, our first weekly Go For, and really propelled us into where we're at now, going to Burbank. Yeah.
So Azure Fire, were you on like any other teams before you joined Surreal?
Yeah, I was on this team called Inferno, which later turned into Vex. And I stayed on the team for like 2 months, and then like we eventually broke up, and I was like searching. I joined one of Crashy's teams, but that didn't work out because like a lot of weird reasons.
Yeah, there was a few things that went down there.
Yeah. Yeah,
That was
so
Legion, right?
Yeah, Legion.
Yeah.
Legion was alive for like I don't know, maybe a week. But it was a lot of like not really like game related stuff. It was kind of like trying to finalize the roster and then like schedules and then like me getting a job, and so like a bunch of different like really random factors that kind of came into that.
Okay. So Crashy, you're probably like the player with the longest history in IC.
Yeah.
Well,
One of them.
competitively. One of them.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, I'm up there. I'm up there with some of the other people.
So you've been playing this since closed beta.
Yeah,
'Cause
deep.
deep in closed beta. Because I remember like one of my first interactions with you. Not really interactions, but you were really active on the forums.
Oh God, is that? I was so nervous about what you were gonna say.
Posting why this champ sucks or why this needs a buff or that needs a buff, and I'm like, man, this guy is like super aggressive. So just tell us like briefly a little bit about how you got into IC.
Well, it's actually really funny. I had been really like big into League, or big as in like I don't know. It was like the first MOBA I played, and I was really, I don't know, it was pretty cool. I liked it, and I was a mid main. Oh God, for forever. I didn't really start jungling for a long time, but I was a mid main for forever, and I used to just play nothing but Karthus pretty much. It was like I was the guy that would actually go into like ranked games and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna mid or I'm gonna feed," and I didn't say that aggressively. I was just like, "Hey, if you don't let me mid, I'm bad at everything else, so I will feed." Like it wasn't meant to be the rude way of doing it. So I don't know. I played a lot of mid, and then I kind of like stopped playing League for a while, and then J-Roar, because I've known J-Roar for a long time. J-Roar was like, "Hey, have you heard of Infinite Crisis?" And I was like, "Nah, I don't know what it is." And he was like, "Oh, well, they're having like a playtest weekend or something. You should go sign up." So I signed up, and for that weekend, anybody that had like made an account on their forums or whatever could play the game. So I played it, and I remember like my first game, like Gotham Heights, I played Fat Joker, and it was just so fun. Like, even though I knew it wasn't like a traditional MOBA map because it was more like the kind of like the Gotham Divided, the capture points game type, it was still really, really cool, and I just kind of stuck with it ever since. So I don't know. Ever since then, I've just been playing Infinite Crisis, and I even took like a small break because right when I started playing Infinite Crisis, my computer couldn't even run the game. Really, I was getting like 15 FPS like the first couple days I was playing it, and then after like a couple patches, like I don't know, it was like a week later or something when I got my actual beta key, I was able to play it.
All right, Pseudo. So you are the sub for Surreal. How did you get approached by Surreal to be the sub? Because you're a mid lane player for Justice.
Pseudo.
Pseudo. Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got
There you go.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, so, when was it? I can't remember when it was. I think it was a couple of weeks back. Around the time where everyone on Justice and F3 and all the other teams realized that we were going to Burbank, I sort of just, I mean, me and Azure were close. We've always been close, like, not really, like, close as in personal, but we always talked to each other in the game. So I just messaged him one night, and I'm like, hey, man, looks like I'm not going to Burbank, and I congratulated him. And then he goes, hey, there might be something for you here, just keep you posted. And then, yeah, I mean, that's when they told me if I was interested, subbing for support, because Picasso couldn't make it, that I should give it a shot. And I told them, I mean, my main is mid, and I'm not, the best support player out there, but I would, give it my best. And I guess I'm here now. So that's how it happened.
Okay. So how did you actually find Infinite Crisis, like the game?
We talked like early on. I think it was last year. I think I started right when. Well, it was really early actually. Around the Coast City, when the Coast City first came out, that's when I started playing. So it was pretty early on. I can't remember what I was doing. I think I was just on YouTube or something, and then there was like an ad on the side talking about Infinite Crisis MOBA, DC MOBA. I mean, I'm a DC fan, so quickly picked it up, installed the game. Gaspat was my first champion. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, just been hooked ever since.
Okay. Maestro, how did you find Infinite Crisis?
Being honest, I don't even remember, but I know I had the beta for the longest time, and I believe Jen found it, because Jen and I were big like DC fans, and like I was in love with Superman. But we tried the game out in beta, and at the time it was like only like Gotham Heights or something. I don't even remember, but I liked the game. But Jen's computer couldn't handle it at the time, so I had to quit. And from there, I know I always followed at the time I still followed the Infinite Crisis Facebook, and then I saw that Superman was coming out, and I was like, whoa, I gotta try this again. And at this point, Jen actually had a better computer.
Right.
So I played the game. I picked up, played Superman. I thought it was awesome. And this was maybe 2-3 weeks before open beta. And from there, I just, after a couple weeks, I told like Jen, like, dude, this game is fun now. Infinite Crisis, well, you should play it again. And then we both just downloaded it and and just played from there.
Okay. Azure, finally. How did you find IC?
I think I found IC from a Twitch ad. Like I was kind of raging at League because the server's really laggy, and I was like, damn, I really need something else to play. And then I was like watching like Odd One stream, and the IC ad came up, and I was like, this looks interesting.
Okay. Let me pull up my doc. Okay. So let's move on to Burbank. So Burbank, at the time of this recording is 6 days away, so less than a week. How are you guys feeling coming into Burbank? You guys are probably one of the underdogs coming in because you guys have like a sub who, I don't know how well Pseudo has meshed with the team, and I don't really know what Picasso brought to like the team as well. So like, how are you guys feeling going into Burbank?
I know personally, I guess it's a little stressful, or it's a little wearing, I guess, to know that we're like bottom seed, have to face, most likely having to face first seed, which is Brawl. So I guess just like mentally preparing for that and trying to do as much practice with like different strategies and things, anything that we can seem to kind of like find some kind of like side success, or like any kind of like, I don't know, success that's not just kind of like status quo, like your standard picking, or like doing some weird draft strats or something like that. So it's definitely been an interesting like couple of weeks, or like weeks leading up to where we are now, about to be heading out to Burbank, because we want to make sure that we have more than just a couple options open. So like a lot of our practice has been not very consistent. Like some of our practice days will be completely different, like in terms of team comp, or like the strategy that we use, depending on who we're playing as well. Just trying to find something new, or to perfect something that we've been, already been working on. So it's been interesting, to say the least, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Azure Fire Maestro, Pseudo, you guys have anything to add on to that?
Crash is pretty much right, but I do feel like we're going into the right direction, and we kind of know what to do from here. So even in these 6 days up till Burbank, I believe that we can get enough practice in to where, we'll be confident going in Burbank and hopefully win the whole thing. Because that's what we're aiming for.
So let's talk about the teams that'll be at Burbank. So we've got you guys, we've got Brawl, we've got Team C, and we've got Curse. This is after the monthly finals were played, and even though it wasn't streamed, Curse lost 2-0 to Brawl, and I think the second game was a 15-minute surrender. So how do you guys think Curse is going to be coming into this? Personally, speaking with like the other teams, it doesn't seem like they've been practicing too much, so I'm just going to open it up to you guys. Anybody can just go and take it.
I think this is a pretty bad meta for Curse. Like, they've always been a team that's like been really reliant on like Con with like a blaster to like kind of carry them like around like the mid game. Like their team fights have been like their strong points. But right now it's like with the dual blaster meta, or dual marksman meta, it's all about like the early game, like the tempo like gets out of hand a lot quicker than it did before. So I just feel like this is like a really bad patch for Curse, and that's why they're doing so poorly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is noticeable too that they're not practicing as much, and like they even took off the last week of the season for the Go For. So yeah, I guess they're just not prepared. We'll see from here.
Crash, you have anything?
No, I mean, I know like with talks like I've had recently with like Fatal Uno, he's been kind of stressing how like they've been like trying to get back on their ball and stuff like that, or just even just try to maybe find a scrim schedule that's working out better for them lately. So I don't know. I think there's scrimming is something that's really interesting, because like there's been some nights where we'll like set up a scrim with someone, and then we'll scrim them, and then we try to set up a scrim with like another team like right after, and then it's like the team that we just scrimmed and the team that we wanted to scrim are now scrimming. So it's like, oh, okay, maybe this night we don't get the double practice, but another team does. So I don't know, there's always like those little like if, ands, or buts that could potentially happen. So hopefully hopefully everybody's getting in as much practice as they can. I guess that's really all we can say.
Pseudo, do you have any thoughts on Curse coming into Burbank?
Well, kind of what Cash said, but Fatal Uno actually lives relatively close to me. He's in Canada as well, and school started at the same time around mine did, so like, I understand how it gets pretty difficult to balance. Like regular commitments and field crisis, so I guess they are struggling to find practice time. And it's not necessarily their fault, but I mean, it's the last week, so if everyone puts it together and works hard this week, then they should still be able to get some done for Burbank.
Okay. I think we just lost Azure Fire.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
once his picture kind of disappears, then my overlay will be messed up, and I'm gonna be kind of upset. But it's fine. It's fine.
I was gonna say I could just keep calling him back, and then maybe his picture will never go away. Oh, see, there he is.
There he is. Okay.
Hey.
So, all right. So let's talk about Team C then. Let's move on. So Team C is looking really, really strong. So they got second place at the Go For Monthly Finals, and they lost 2-1 to Brawl, and that was actually a pretty close 2-1. Well, but let's just kind of talk about how Team C is, like their form coming into Burbank. So recently they've been like tweeting out, hey, we've got the top 3 NA solo queue people, or like the top 3 MMR people in I'm going pro play to win and a cheery. So like, get hype for Burbank, guys. And they played really, really well, I think, in the what's it called, Go For Monthly Final, where they beat you guys 2-1. So let's just quickly talk about Team C and how you guys think they'll do at Burbank.
Well, again, not necessarily knowing the format. I'm assuming it's going off of seeding, so I don't know. I don't know if it's best of 3, best of 1s, or whatever. We can assume that they'll probably be facing up against Curse. With that being said, I don't think that they would struggle to take down Curse in Curse's particular stance right now. Also, Team C has Team C is they're a pretty consistent team, I think, most of the time. But consistency, I guess, in my mind at the particular moment also means kind of like predictability. Like I kind of feel like a part of their strategies are a little bit predictable. So even if we are like playing against them and we're a little bit too far behind to stop what I know is coming or what we know is coming, it's something that I still feel is a little bit predictable. So I think they will probably be seen in the finals if they're on that, like if the brackets are the way that I'm kind of breaking them down in my mind. And I think that would probably be pretty convincing unless Curse kind of steps up their practice and their gameplay lately. But I definitely think it's, in terms of just like player skill and like where we've seen Curse's strengths before, I definitely think it could be a really, really close matchup between the two. So that should be a really interesting game, or it should just be a really, really interesting showing for Team C on LAN for Infinite Crisis. So that'll be pretty cool to see for them.
So recently, Team C and Curse have kind of had like roster swaps between them. Do you think like this will kind of impact how they play against each other, just because they've kind of swapped members back and forth?
I think it's finally calmed down. So I think this is like the Team C Curse final form. Like I think this is what we get. Like we get to finally like lock it down. So I don't know. I think they've had some good time to play with each other with the current rosters that they have. Well, at least C has. So I know C is pretty comfortable with where they are. So, or at least they seem like they are on a personal level, anyways. So.
Anybody else have any comments about Team C?
I like them. I mean, I think them above like any other team individually play this game more than anybody, like solo queue wise. So I think they're probably most comfortable going into like whatever Burbank, and but yeah, it should be an interesting matchup against Curse though, because they've swapped a lot, and see how it goes.
Azure Fire, do you have any thoughts on Team C?
I think going into Burbank, like I don't know. I think Team C will definitely beat Curse. Like Curse just seems out of form, and Team C, they might be the strongest team right now. So like I honestly with that specific matchup, I think Team C will win. And I think it's cute that they're tweeting about having the top 3 ELO on IC.
outside of leaderboards and normal games. Yeah, I don't know. I'm up there. Me and Maestro are up there.
I'm
keep
kind
us
of
down.
up there too, guys.
Yeah, don't
worry.
keep us down.
Don't worry. I'm in the top 25. But...
Yeah, I don't know, dude. We're wasting time here. We need to go grind.
All right. So let's move on to Brawl. So Brawl is this. I don't know. I don't see them on too much, but they always come to perform when it comes to like bigger tournaments. So they got the first seed for Burbank. I don't know if again. So 6 days before the tournament, we don't know what the format is. But they are like number one because Curse didn't play, so they like overtook Curse in the last week in point totals or whatever. But anyway, they always just seem to show up when it comes to like the monthly finals. Like, I know that this was like number 3, so it's like the three-peat, June, July, August. So they're feeling really good. I'm assuming coming into Burbank. So what are you guys' thoughts on Brawl and their current strength?
I think Brawl. I don't know. Brawl is kind of like one of the only teams that I've seen consistently run Mecha Superman support on GS. So I think that their strategies for draft might be a little bit broadened. Like, they're probably a little bit more comfortable giving away good picks and also understanding that they can draft differently around that. Like, if, let's say, the API gets banned and the RGL does make it through for the enemy team, then Brawl knows that they're still comfortable playing a Joker support or playing the Mecha Soup support. So I think that their draft is a little bit broadened. Just because it's something that is practiced for them. Not that we wouldn't run like a Mecha Soups, or not that any other team wouldn't, but maybe a little bit more practiced for them to run a little bit more in their bot lane, which would kind of open up different team comps all around. So I think right now, I don't know, player skill wise and just like brute, like laning phase, I don't think they're the strongest team. But I think whenever it comes to like really strong team play and coordination with rotations, I think that they actually are kind of the top contender. It's really hard because like I see Team C and I see Team C and Brawl in two different ways. I see C as like a really skilled team on an individual level who can pull together and make off some good plays whenever they're kind of like snowballing. And I see Brawl as a really, really, really coordinated group of 5 players. And they seem to kind of show that with rotations. Like I think Brawl is like really, really strong in their rotations. So I don't know. That's what I think about them anyways.
Yeah, I'll add on to that. I think Brawl, like, they might. It doesn't seem like they play the game a lot, but each of them are comfortable with each other, which is why they rotate and they work well together. And it's probably because they do other things outside of IC together, which is pretty neat. But the biggest thing I like about Brawl is they seem to adapt well together, and that probably all plays together. Because you'll see them drop the first game or so, but they always adapt and come back, and like they know how to react like almost immediately. And I don't know. I think that's what makes them really strong.
Azure Fire, do you have anything to add on to the Brawl discussion?
Brawl, they're definitely good, and they definitely have like a lot of synergy with each other because besides like Dak, like they've been together for a really long time.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. We'll still beat them though.
There you go.
There you go. Okay. So I want to kind of tunnel in on the Mecha Superman pick because I don't really see any of the other NA teams pick Mecha Soups, and Brawl usually likes to combine this with the Doomsday, so you can make the Mecha Soups wall, charge them with Doomsday into that wall, you get a stun. So why don't the other NA teams really run Mecha Soups? Is it just very risky, or what?
I don't know. I think that the other supports that are out there, or even just like flex picks for supports, are a little too strong to pass up. So sometimes whenever you get like the Arcane GL, you're not really going to put him anywhere else, and he's too good to pass up in that light. If your team's going to grab the RGL, then you kind of know where he's going. I mean, we've seen RGL jungles in the past, but it's not really a traditional thing. Nobody really in EU or NA really runs it that often. So when there's not an RGL, it really just kind of depends on what kind of a team comp you're running. If you've gotten through the draft and you already have a tank on your team, it may not be favorable for you to pick another by picking the mecha soups. And I think that's probably what happens more often than not. Or if your team's going for more of like, I don't know, an aggressive team and you've already secured like the Joker, or you've already secured like another blaster like Star Sapphire and Green Lantern, you may just want to throw them bottom lane. So it really just depends on what kind of a comp you're looking to build. At least for us anyways. A lot of the times when we're looking to add our tanks to the team, we tend to throw them in like top or jungle, and then that kind of leaves us open for like another blaster or something like that.
So I also want to talk about Atomic Wonder Woman. So she is my favorite champion, and she's been seeing like a whole
ton of play. Yeah.
Like, I think every single game she'll be in like the top kind of priority of picks.
Yeah, I think she's usually like top 2, top 3
in
like
the
always.
first round of picks,
Mhm.
usually. So I'm gonna address this more to Maestro. What makes her like just so strong?
Well, I think she's probably the strongest assassin right now, and just being able to automatically get to that carrier who your target is, it's just really strong, and the fact that she has so much mobility and all that, so it's really nice. And I think with the introduction of like the crossbow, like more pin items, just like that makes her like stronger as well, like more ability to snowball and whatnot. And yeah, I mean, teams looking for assassins, I think that's the first pick you go to.
So we've also seen like Atomic Wonder Woman top lane, and we've also seen her in the jungle. So I kind of want to like ask both of you guys like where you guys would like to put her, and like the strengths, like the pros and cons of like top lane versus jungle.
Careful top. Gas that was just
I don't know, because like we've run her in both. I mean, I don't really remember what we had in the opposite when we had her, but I guess it just kind of depends on what they've given us, and we'll look to put her in the best place for how we can also win our lane. So like, I don't know, if we think that she would do better in the lane, and we have also gotten another flex pick for somebody to go in jungle, maybe like an RGL or something, we would maybe give me the RGL and give Maestro the A-dubs, or vice versa, something like that. Or if we picked her first, then it kind of leaves us open to kind of decide where we're going to put her. So I guess it really just depends.
Upside.
It's not always guaranteed.
Okay. So I wanna also field this next question to Azure Fire. So we're kind of in this double marksman meta where usually you send like this marksman mid and you have a marksman bottom. So off the top of my head, like the first one I saw doing this was like Azure Fire. So I want to kind of like pick like you and like ask like why the double marksman, or like just the marksman mid over the blaster mid. Like even though like you can play blasters, I feel like you prefer to play like these hybrid marksmen like the Gas Bat or the Mecha Wonder Woman in mid.
I mean, it eventually just was like a stylistic choice, but it kind of just worked out. Like it creates a lot of good tempo for our team early on that we kind of just build off of, and like it also like helps us control like objectives a lot better. Like if you're a marksman versus a blaster, they can't really stop you from taking their turret without some extra jungle pressure. And then like say you want to do like an early raider, that's, you know, marksmans are good for that. Marksman. Yeah, so like I guess it's just like something I was comfortable with and the team sort of liked. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually, that first Go 4 that we won, or the Go 4 that we won, we actually were running double marksman as well. So, I don't know. It kind of started off as like an SG strategy for us, and then it kind of built off to like Mishkit saying like, oh shit, double marksman's really hard to like play against, and then, I don't know, it just became a thing.
Yeah, it's actually pretty funny though, how
like at first we played Gasbat mid,
Right.
and then Brawl Bander Gasbat in that particular ESL.
So you played Mecha Wonder Woman mid?
Yeah, we ended up forcing Cripsy to play Blue Beetle, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I think it's because they banned
Yes.
Gaspat, you took Mecha Wonder Woman and Green Arrow, and then he was like, I don't have any other marksman. Blue Beetle, guys, and
Yeah.
Yep.
that was interesting. Okay,
What's up, Tower?
I'm trying to think of something else that I can really ask. Okay, so going back to like the kind of what's it called? So I was actually curious about this. So what does Picasso like provide you guys in terms of like what does he do for your team? Like, is he a shot caller, or does he like help with the shot calling and stuff? Because like when we're discussing Burbank on Podcast Prime, I was like, I don't know what Picasso does, so I don't know how him not being at Burbank will like impact you guys and your performance there. So if you guys can like, I would love to have Picasso on, but
Yeah. I think the biggest impact that we can say just right off the bat, which should be not necessarily pretty obvious, but it's something that you can kind of expect, was just like the bot lane synergy was just automatically lost. You know what I mean? Like we kind of had to go from having a bot lane who was very, very comfortable with each other because the first two members of SG from conception were Picasso and Ziki, to kind of losing that and having to rebuild from there. So just in terms of like not necessarily what he brings to the team, but what we had with him was that instantaneous synergy, that really locked up synergy. Picasso was actually very, very good with timers. Like although I do a lot of timers myself, if I missed a timer, he would grab it. So he was very, very methodical with kind of like the way he did things. So just something I know as a strength for Picasso, or something that I would like to brag on. It would probably be his notion for timing things.
is he
And that's
doing-
like stolen powers. That's like everything.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does
just
he do
timing.
like any shot calling for the team, or
He kind of provided some like secondary shot calling. I think I'm mostly like primary shot caller, but it I don't know. Anytime somebody else has something to provide, especially because he would do that every now and then, we would, it's taken into consideration. So yeah, he added some of that as well.
okay?
Everything good, everything you could think of. That's he did that.
Okay, so I also all right. So I was talking to I don't remember who, but they're also bringing up the fact that Picasso likes to play these kind of true support champions. So like your Poison Ivies, your Arcane Green Lanterns, your Zatanas, and Pseudo coming in as a mid laner, like he can play these kind of more aggressive champions like your Jokers,
I
your
guess another
Green Lantern Primes. So I want to kind of feel this up to Pseudo. Like, how have you been adjusting to like the new role on SG for this upcoming tournament?
Well, I don't know if you guys remember, but in PAX recently, I actually played support, and it was a similar situation because I only played support for like 2 weeks before PAX. So I've been in this situation before, but this time around, like I've had a lot more practice, especially with blaster supports. So I'm very confident in my blasters, and like Crash said, like synergy between two players always needs time to develop, and we're working on it, of course. I'm gonna admit, early game bot lane is can be a lot better at this point, but if we can rectify that by this week, I think we'll be in a really good position. So yeah, that's the thing with blaster supports. If you get them through the early game and have a relatively good standing, they can be like an off carry and like
Right.
provide that much more strength to team fights later on. So
Okay. So I also kind of want to ask. I just totally blanked. Okay. Oh my god, this is embarrassing. Okay,
Swag.
swag. It's not coming back. Okay. I cannot remember it. so I'm just gonna awkwardly end this because I can't remember, and I feel like it was a really good question, but it's just gone.
It probably was.
All right. Any final words from you guys? Addressing the IC community, all of your loving, adoring fans.
I don't know. I just think we're gonna just play the way we play. Hopefully, we can pull out a couple back-to-back wins, find our way in the finals, and take it from there. So, I mean, I know a lot of people, especially I feel like we have a lot of community backing. I don't know. We've always kind of had that. We kind of have like, I don't know. We have like this girlfriend sympathy that goes along with our team. No, seriously though, like we have like this Genfo Rata thing that can just like propel us to the finals. So it's like, how do you be like how if you're C or you're Curse or you're Brawl and you're like, fuck man, we gotta play Surreal next, and they just like they look at the chat on their phones and they're sitting there and they see like Genfo's like, I'll give 1 billion hugs if SG wins this match. Like how do you break that? You know what I mean? Like how do you lift your spirits to be like, all right, we have to beat SG now? And it's like we're 1,000 hugs down. Like I don't know what we're gonna do. Like, and Julia's sending out like Bozzy to like, you know what I mean, to do her bidding.
I think
so, I don't know.
The thing about beating Surreal is you don't crush 5 people if you beat them. You crush 7 people.
Yeah, it's you know, and they're girls.
Yeah, so it's like double. So it's like you don't crush 5 people. You crush
it's like
9
9.
people. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then you crush all the people who wanted the hugs. So
Oh.
I don't know. And we're gonna have Genfo's gonna be there, and like and they're gonna have to look her in the eyes while they're trying to beat, and that's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
What I want to see is like if you guys are losing to a team, Jen just like runs in there like tear-stained eyes, and she just like thrashes all the computers, and she's like, no.
So yeah, we clearly have the advantage going into this tournament. I don't know. It's a miracle they're even letting us, you know, put the girlfriends in the chat, let alone go to the event. So
only one of the girlfriends.
Only one, yeah, only one.
Event.
We gotta have one. We gotta have one holding down the chat hype.
Oh, there you go. All right.
That's my excuse. Let me off the hook.
Azure, do you have any final words?
Thanks for cheering us on, I guess, if you're a fan. Yeah, I don't like what Crashy said. I think we do have an advantage. I mean, we have the Bozzy Lumpkins cheering for us.
It's true.
Dude, that's worth like 5 billion fans.
It is. It's over.
Yeah.
All right, Maestro.
Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend's awesome. She does give me a lot of support, so I gotta thank her for that. But yeah,
She's
I'm really
right
looking
now?
forward to it. She is actually, so if you heard her, then I apologize. But yeah.
Oh, I thought you were about to like mindless plug it. Yeah, she is. So go on ahead over to twitch.tv/Genfo XD. Yeah, XD. Head on over there. I know this isn't live, but go on ahead and head on over there. Throw out a follow. We also got the 1v1 tournament coming up pretty soon. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, Jen does a lot. Yeah, so that's awesome. But yeah.
Okay. Pseudo, do you have any shout-outs or final words?
Well, I'm not really like social in the community or anything like that, but I mean, if there are people out there who back me, thanks. I also like to take this opportunity to thank SG. I mean, I really wanted to go to Burbank, and there was a point where I felt like I wasn't going, but now I have this opportunity. So, I mean, just thanks for picking me on top of all those people out there. And, yeah, I mean, that's it.
Yeah, man, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time.
Yep.
Burbank will be fun. Burbank will
It
be
will.
very fun.
Definitely.
All right. So thank you guys for watching. This is the last part of Road to Burbank. Why did I say go to Burbank?
It's like the go for Burbank.
I know. This is the last part of Road to Burbank. I could not get Curse. It was like very... it was just very weird of a situation. So this is part 3 of 3. So thank you guys for watching. I want to say thank you to SG for doing this right before scrims, I think. So, thank you guys, and talk to you guys later.